Today on Women in the Loop, I'm joined by Jamie Maltabes, founder and CEO of Infinite Medical Group, a rapidly growing health, wellness, and regenerative medicine company that's quickly making waves in the industry. But Jamie's story goes far beyond business success. Behind the growth is a woman who has rebuilt herself multiple times while navigating panic disorder, eating disorder, sobriety, personal betrayal, reinvention, and the pressure of leading through uncertainty. Today, we're talking about resilience, entrepreneurship, healing, boundaries, and what really looks like to keep showing up, even when life feels messy behind the scenes, which I think we all could relate to. Jamie, welcome to Women in the Loop.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here and have this conversation with you, honestly.
I'm very excited to have you on. Welcome.
Thank you.
Your business is incredible. And if you could tell me a little bit what it is, how you got started, and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to just keep it small because the story is way too long. But we opened as a weight loss clinic. Our 2-year birthday is in a few days from now. So we're actually closing the clinic and I'm going to take the staff to the beach or we're going to go to
Oh,
this
happy
American Dream
birthday.
Mall. We're going to shut down and really celebrate because it's really been a journey. But we originally opened as a weight loss and body sculpting clinic, primarily doing the GLP-1 medications and body sculpting, which is something that I kind of did as a side hustle for many years out of my basement. And then since then, it's just really grown. And so now we do aesthetics. I hired an expert aesthetic injector and sent both of my nurses for aesthetic training. So we're big into like Botox and fillers and liquid rhinoplasties, all that stuff. We do laser hair removal. That's another big vertical for us. We do bioidentical hormone replacement, so BHRT for women, TRT for men. And now, what I'm really trying to pivot the business over to is regenerative medicine. So, stem cells, exosomes, really healing the body with its own body and staying away from surgery and the knife and that stuff, and helping people that are in pain because there's nothing better than seeing somebody one week come in 10 out of 10 pain. They fill out their questionnaire and then seeing them just a few days or a few weeks later and their pain is gone and they're back to playing with their kids or playing pickleball or whatever the case is. So that's where we're headed, but we still do have all of these other things that we do constantly and on a daily basis.
What inspired you to do that?
I opened the clinic because I had problems with food and I found the GLP-1 medications and I needed to bring it to the masses. And that's really why I opened. And then as I started getting patients, we've seen over 11,000 people at this point in 2 years. The needs kept coming, and I kept finding that they were unable to find it elsewhere, or there were just all of these stories of just people not caring. And the thing that I think that makes Infinite different is when you come here, you're not just a patient. We really like to treat you like family. Everybody has to know everyone by name. So as soon as you walk in, you get your picture taken, and it's the admin's teams and the nurses team responsibility to look over who's coming in for the day and make sure that you know that your patients are coming in. We don't want you to come in and we don't know who you are. That's not who we are. You're not just like another number here. And so they started bringing these concerns to me, aesthetics and body sculpting and laser hair. And then it was a lot of regenerative medicine because as people age, inflammation and pain just unfortunately become a part of life. And people were just going to PT forever, getting cortisone shots, surgery, all these things that were just not working, or they were really afraid to do, like surgery, like back surgery and stuff like that. And so I just really started looking into regenerative medicine. And luckily, my medical director, Dr. Lucy Guevara, who's amazing, double board certified, just the most wonderful woman, decided to take it upon herself to really start learning. And she did. And she went to a lot of trainings and she brought all of that information back to us. And the results have just been insane. Like everybody that's got treatment, it's life changing. And while weight loss is wonderful and it did change my life, there's so many other things that like are changing people's life, like stem cells. And so I'm like, I have to be a part of this. This is the medicine of the future. I want in. And so that's really just how we started.
Wow. So when you were starting this, which has grown so superly fast,
Yeah.
uh, what was going on behind the scenes like for you personally with all
Okay.
this success?
Wow.
Yeah.
So when I first started, I was working at a company called Hair Club, and I was working for a gentleman. He owned 3 franchises. So I was overseeing all of his franchises. And at one point, he owned 4, but then he sold it. And so I was sort of like the owner without the paycheck. He was not involved. He was traveling the world. I did everything, which was what I was hired to do. And I'm very grateful for it because it really taught me way more than any business school could teach you. Really just getting thrown into it and understanding that it never ends. Like it never ends when you're in charge or when
Oh,
you have people under
absolutely.
you, right? Like it's a
Hmm.
24-hour a day thing.
Yes.
And so unfortunately, I loaned this gentleman hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know. Yeah, he was giving me a good percent of my money. I was like, I'm never going to get this someplace else. I know that I'm getting it. I trust this man. I've worked for him for a decade. You know, he's always been good to me. He was wonderful to me. He was not so good to other people, in my opinion, but he was wonderful to me. And he just kept writing me a check. And so I kept kind of loaning him more money. And at the end, it was a couple of $100,000. And then things started going a little crazy, and he was treating some employees ways that I did not appreciate. And so I had to sit down with him and I said, listen, I cannot work for somebody who treats people this way. That's okay if you want to do that, but we need to figure out how we're going to separate. And we do need a payment plan on how to get my money back. And fast forward to today, a lot of nonsense happened, but we are now 2 years deep into a lawsuit. And he is claiming that I stole the money and loaned it back to him. So now I'm also
Oh,
100 grand deep in lawyer's fees. So, you know, listen, I'm grateful. I probably would have never left where I was had this not happened because I was happy or whatever, right? Like I was comfortable. And so my main mission now is empowering people to not stay comfortable. And if things are happening and the universe is sort of guiding you, trust it. There's no way at that moment, you know, when I got a letter from his lawyer saying that he's not paying it back and countersuing me for theft. And I mean, I made this man millions of dollars. It's just so insane to me. I was his right hand girl. I did everything for him that he would say this. It's like, you know, it's like take the sign from the universe and go follow your dreams, whatever that.
so because of this negative happening, you started your own
Yes, I started
company.
my own. That was Hair
Wow.
Club, so it was a completely different thing. But yes,
But
I
still,
always said I wanted, you know, I wanted a med spa, but I have no medical background. I know nothing about this stuff, honestly,
wow.
but I figured it out. Every business starts with no experience. Like, you know, like you don't know anything, you don't know the protocols, the plans, you don't know where you're going to be, the space, the payroll, and you just figure it out.
My philosophy, and it sounds like yours is the same, is always been to try. And if it doesn't work, it's going to lead you to something, but you have to try. And the fact that you didn't crumble from this experience, instead, you've risen above it, which is amazing. And I'm sure he's aware of how well you're doing.
Oh, he's very aware. He's very aware.
And
And
that's
yeah, I mean,
incredible.
it's funny because, well, I'm not going to say anything else.
But it's
I'm
wonderful.
just going to keep my, you know, no matter what happens, if I lose this money and for somehow, I mean, I did not do this, but if for somehow I lose it doesn't matter to me. I am so incredibly happy with where I am at life. There is no money in the world that could replace waking up every day and being excited to come to my business, to see my patients, to talk to my staff, to really help people. So it's a win-win for me.
Did the growth ever feel overwhelming to you?
Always, every day.
Yeah. How do
Overwhelmed
you
right
get
now.
through that? How do you get through it?
I constantly have to remind myself that like I'm one of those people that I set a goal, I meet it, and then the next goal is right there. Like I'm never just like, okay. And I often just have to reflect on how far I've come. Like I told you, we're just about to hit 2 years and we've seen over 11,000 patients. Like I had one sculpting device in my basement 2 years ago, and now I have five sculpting devices and a 2,500 square place and 12 employees. And, you know, it's like, it's reflection for me. It's reflection. Growth starts to get crazy. It's just reminding that I don't need to grow right now. We could stay stagnant this month and everything will be fine. But it's like this internal thing of like, I need to keep growing and doing better so that I can pay my employees more and they can take care of their family. And, you know, it's just always about trying to be better for other people.
You had spoken about in your bio that you did battle panic disorder and you had some eating disorders.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, I have all the disorders. Every
but you know
disorder
what's
you can have.
incredible? On the outside, you come across well, you are successful.
Yeah.
Why do you think women in general um, become experts at hiding what they're going through? I,
That's such a good question. I don't
yeah,
know that it's just women, so I don't even want to just limit
yeah.
it to them. I
You're
just
right.
think, yeah, I think us as society, we're supposed to be able, but specifically women, to do it all, right? So, women, we're supposed to have the kids, have the career, look good for our husbands, and like what it's like, who can do all of this, right? But I think that society just teaches us to not talk about how we're feeling and what we're struggling with, and especially this social media BS that of course I have to be a part of for my business, but that I truly hate because people are only posting the most glamorous parts of their life.
Fake book, they call it.
I hate it. I
It's
hate
you're
it.
right. It is the best part of your life that you're posting, and nobody knows what's happening behind the scenes. And then when people look at that, they judge their own lives thinking, "Oh, that their lives are so good," where people are battling just like each other.
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, I would imagine that people that look at other people's and want to be like them majority of the time would not switch roles, but they just really don't know what's going on. It's like that quote, it's like the grass isn't greener on the other side, the grass is greener where you water it. So just
I love that. It's
yeah,
true. It's true. So when you were going through all your things, the things in your life,
all the things.
did something fundamentally change that made you realize that I've got to just move forward? I can't focus on these things. What was it?
There was different moments for each thing. So unfortunately, and this is my belief, and I hope it's not true, I hope I'm wrong, but I believe that if you're born an addict or have compulsion, you're always going to have it. And so for me, it's just about finding ways to channel it that's healthy. So like right now, I'm all in on my business, which is why it's successful. Now other people can look at that and say, yeah, but you're like obsessed. And I'm like, okay, but what is my alternative? My alternative is I'm gambling, I'm doing drugs, I'm binge eating. Like for me, being obsessed with something that's helping people is okay, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, like for food, it was when I found the GLP-1 medication. It completely changed my life. It quieted the food noise. I had no desire to binge and purge anymore. It was just literally like a savior to me, which is why I wanted to bring that to people. For alcoholism, my bottom was, when my mom finally came to me and said, I don't care what you do anymore. If you don't get help, then you don't get help. I never looked back, and I've been sober for almost 17 years for that. And then, when I was playing poker, um, poker is a tough one and gambling is a tough one because I was relatively successful at it and I
Oh
allowed
yeah.
that to cloud my vision for a bit on really what was going on. It was another transfer of addiction, but because it's not bad or because you're not losing things but I was not raising my daughter. I mean, literally, my mom was raising my daughter because I was working in gambling. And so my gambling came to a halt when I finally just realized, I was playing games that were so big. I was hanging out with some people that had a lot of money. And it's like, where did these people get all this money? And so you start to realize that the people that you're hanging out with are probably not the best. And I was at this big game in Philly and they were going to a strip club to take a break and they were doing cocaine. And I was like, all right, my life's either going to go one of two ways. I'm going to never look back and just be done with this, or I'm going to keep headed there. And one day I'm going to be doing the cocaine too. And I had probably been like 10 years sober at that time. And so I left that game and I just never looked back. I changed my number, changed everything, and just never played again.
That's incredible. I love your bravery and
Yeah,
your openness. I mean, I think that you being so dedicated to your business now comes from a place where you had to really focus on you and make it happen. And I love that you said that you now are putting all your energy into this. And whether you have that compulsiveness in your personality or that you need to have that, you're doing a great thing. So now it's working to your benefit, and I think that shows how you kind of turn it around for yourself,
thank
which
you.
is
I appreciate it.
fabulous.
Thank you so much.
So that is incredible.
Thank you.
And you still are smiling and you are going through things, and like you said, in the back scenes, but you're still loving what you're doing, which is
Yeah.
incredible.
You know what? I think it's really just all about reflection. Like, I would not trade places where I am now to be where I was 2 years ago for anything. So it's like whatever the day brings or the week brings or the attorney bills bring. Okay, we'll handle it, and we'll move forward.
First of all, I should ask where your business is located.
We're located in central New Jersey. It's a very small town called East Brunswick, but we're kind of by Rutgers University, which a lot of
Yes,
people know.
my brother went to Rutgers.
Oh, really? Wow.
So
So did
I'm
my brother,
familiar with it.
actually. That's
I'm in
funny.
New Jersey too, so
Okay.
I'm much north. Now, when you're in work each day, are you just focused on that, or does the chaos or the noise ever come back while you're
When I'm at work, I'm generally all in, but I'm all in on so many different things. You know, being the founder of a small business where we're constantly adding new layers, new offerings, new services, it's really all encompassing. If I'm not sitting up front and talking with patients, I'm developing protocols with the doctor. If I'm not doing that, I'm on Instagram doing reels. If I'm not doing that, I'm on Indeed hiring. Like I'm ordering inventory. I'm at BJ's. Like it's not even just when I'm here, honestly. It's 24 hours a day. I really, and this is like the one negative part of it, I really have to try to stop and put away the phone and like turn my brain off from the business to like spend time with family, friends, and my daughter. Like that is really what I struggle with because again, it's just, I'm all in on this now. So it's like, nothing, it's just all,
balanced?
it's balance. It's
So how do you do that? And I know
hard. It's
it's
hard.
hard.
I try my best. I try to like when I'm with my daughter, leave my phone someplace else, like scheduled time like that.
That's
But
wonderful though.
I
You're
try. I
doing it.
try my best. I'm not good at it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not good at
That's okay, but you're doing it and you recognize it. I think that's the first thing. So you recognize that you need to do something, and so you're doing the best you can. I mean, you're one person that's has this incredibly successful business, and you have a life, and you have all these pieces that you have to make fit.
Yeah, and I do empower my daughter. Like she knows how much
That's
it
great.
takes to do this. And I tell her, like, we'll have like no technology time. So do you want to put our phones away tonight? And like we'll leave all of our stuff away, you know? So when she feels like if I'm being too distant, she will say something to me. So that's also a good thing.
That's so wonderful. Did you ever doubt your own trust in yourself through this process?
You know, my boyfriend says that I did, but I don't recall it. He says,
That's
he
great.
tells me in the beginning, don't you remember you were so nervous and what if this doesn't work out and blah, blah, blah. That's not how I recall it, but apparently I was. Listen, when I opened this and left my other job, I was all in. I was all in. I put a lot of money into this. The rest of my money was with the man that I was probably not going to get back for a while. And so I remember doing the numbers and figuring out that we had to make like $26,494 to break even each month. So we had to bring that in as soon as we open each month to break even with all of our overhead and staff and the meds and whatever. And I remember thinking like, how are we ever going to do that? And then I'm thinking like, all right, well, if we don't make it, like I have enough money for X amount of months. And I remember really playing with the numbers. But I think once we got through month one, I was like, oh no, we're gonna be fine. Like we just straight went right into profit. It was not long. We were out of the red. I know a lot of businesses take several years. Fortunately for us, by month three, we were profitable. We got back our money, everything that we put in, and we were in the green. And we've just been increasing revenue ever since then. So of course, the amount needed to break even is a lot higher, but I
That's
I,
okay.
I honestly think that even if I lost this today, I could rebuild it tomorrow.
That's the attitude you have to have with something. And then it becomes super successful. And you know it's going to be successful regardless. You're going to be successful. You are successful.
I learned a long time it's not about me. I could not do this. I have no medical degree. I know nothing about half the stuff that we do here medically. Like I know what we do, but I don't have the degree to administer an IV or whatever that is, right? But I learned a long time ago that you just need to find the best people. I need to know what I can't do, find the best person and hire them, make sure they're a good human being, and that's it. And then you can do that in any aspect with any business.
And they'll trust you. And in turn, you'll trust them. And it sounds like you have an amazing team.
I have the best team. They're a curated team. You know, I will interview you, and if the energy's off and everything else is there, you're gone. And vice versa, if you have no experience, but I just feel like something about you is like a yes, you're a yes, and we'll figure it out.
And do you run it yourself 100%?
Yes, I have an assistant manager, and I did hire my best friend of 20 years, but I everything goes through me. Yeah,
Oh, that's incredible.
yeah.
And then you have your own space now. You said you built into more
Yeah,
space.
so we are in like a medical office, one floor story now. I think we're about 2,600 square feet. Lots of rooms, lots of stuff going on here all the time.
What and I'm curious about this.
What?
What are some of the cutting edge technology that you have been introduced to now? I know the exosomes. I've heard of
Yes,
that.
exosomes and stem
How
cells.
do you what are some of the things that you see now that are up and coming that you've started to introduce at your med spa, which sounds like most do not do all the things that you do there? Is that
I think a lot of places do many things. I never actually wanted to be the place that does a million things because I feel like then what do you specialize in, right? Like you're not going to go to a plastic surgeon and get the same person to do a brow lift that you're going to do liposuction, right? Like generally you have a specialty. However, I found that in when I created different verticals, if I have employees, the best employee heading each vertical, then I can do it, right? So I just kind of did what everybody else did, but a different way. So if you're coming in for regenerative medicine, you're seeing registered nurse Marissa. If you're coming in for a sculpting device, you're seeing registered nurse Celestine. If you're coming in for a liquid rhinoplasty, you're seeing our expert injector Lenora. And that way, everybody kind of is in their own lane and specialty. And in the background, they're all teaching each other. So we're all kind of learning together, but we do have that pivotal person that like we need to head.
anything cutting edge out there right now that you're offering?
Cutting edge, I don't have it, but I will tell you what I'm hearing a lot about. It's a device called XERF, XERF, and it's for skin tightening. And the results have been insane, and the science behind it is insane. And it would probably be the next device that I would invest in. But I don't like to make my patients the guinea pigs, and it just came out. So a lot of people are getting it done. There's lots of celebrities. I just saw Kim Kardashian getting it, and the Jersey House. Everybody's getting it. Okay, I'm going to watch them. I'm going to see how they heal, and everything is good in 6 months. I'll potentially make the investment.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never heard of that. So
Yeah,
that's
look it up. Look it up. It's very cool for skin tightening because, we can do a lot with fat, but skin tightening and cellulite's very tricky. And of course, as women, we all have that cellulite and skin tightening, right?
yeah. So is this permanent or is it just a temporary
What do
fix?
you say? So we'll see. That's the thing. It's brand new, so we don't know. So that's what we're going to test.
Oh, I like that. So what are some of the things you're doing now that are the tell me what you are doing with exosomes because I know there's creams. I just didn't realize you can do things.
So the cream that you would be talking about is a plant-based cream, which Dr. Guevara likes to say is kind of like rubbing lime juice on your face. There might be some benefits. This is human-derived exosomes. So actually, we have donors. They come from scheduled C-sections. Follow me here. From
Hmm.
donor women eligible. So they have to be within a specific age range. They can have never had an alcohol, never have drinking, no diseases. There's this screening process is insane. And of course, where do you find women like that in America? Well, a lot of them happen to be in Utah and they're Mormon and they've never been exposed to these things, right? And so scheduled C-section, and they're taken from that and they're brought right to the lab. They're cryo frozen and then they're delivered to us. And they're in a cryo frozen little thing. I have a minus 86 degrees freezer here. And then we thaw it and then we put it on you so that you do get those live exosomes. But
Wow.
that's very different than a cream
Yeah.
with exosomes in it. Yeah. And
Yeah.
also much more costly, unfortunately. But the results really show. So, yeah, we can do like microneedling with that. Our most common way to use exosomes, though, is through an IV drip. So, if we put it systemically through your system, like my skin glows since I started doing this, literally.
Yeah,
We're
you have
putting it
beautiful
through your
skin.
whole body, not just on your face.
How
And
much do you have to get it? Like how often would you have to get something like that?
so there's not like a what you have to do. It's like saying, how often do you want to go for a facial? Well, how often do you want your face to look good, right? I like to say do a series of 3 back to back, one a month, and then you can space it out either to quarterly, biannually, or annually, just based off of finances because it's not a cheap thing. But other than that, it's so good for so many things. But us for women, anti-aging, obviously, number one.
When you go in for the exosomes, how long does that take?
So the entire experience is probably an hour, but you're sitting with it in you for like 30 minutes. But it's beautiful. So like we have on like TV with like generally we'll have like the ocean or like something like that. It's dimmed, the music's light. The whole thing is like a calming
Oh
experience.
my goodness. I think I may be taking a trip to you.
Oh, you totally have to come. I would love to have you here. It's amazing.
Oh, I will love to do it. I mean, that's awesome. So now you're in a spot. Are you feeling like you're in the middle of the space where the old version of you is no longer part of this, and this next chapter you're completely different out of it?
So I joined this thing called Founders Club. So you had to have made over $1 million last year or something. There was all these parameters, and I joined it, and it was a lot of money. And it's all founders, and everybody fits in this category. And I can tell you I'm not there yet. Even though I have done these things to fit myself into this criteria, I'm on these calls with these people that are having $2 million months. And I'm like, oh my God. And the way they're speaking, like they're so eloquent. I'm just a drug addict, gambling girl from Jersey. Like, I'm not there. So I think I am still in the middle. I mean, because I just don't ever think I'll be those people. And that's okay with me.
But you are already. The way, I think that maybe that's just like talking to you, you're there.
Well, thank
And
you.
absolutely. And I think we kind of have self-doubt in ourselves
Yeah,
because of maybe what you've been through, but look where you are today. I mean,
totally.
I can see it that
Thank you.
had you not mentioned any of that, and been so honest about who you were or changed into,
Yeah,
from the past,
yeah,
I would never know that.
yeah. Well, thank you. I think that success, definitely, like my boyfriend always says, like you definitely like carry your head higher, and I'm definitely super proud of my business. I think that prior to owning my business, I really let my alcoholism addiction define me. Like when somebody would say, "Who are you?" Like, "Oh, I'm a recovering alcoholic." Like that was a really big part of who I am. Where now it's like I'm an entrepreneur. Like that's who I am, right?
That's who
And
you
like
are.
yeah, and that's who I want to be remembered for, like helping people and building things and helping people feed their families and giving them a wonderful place to work for many years.
That's incredible. I
Thank
mean, that's how you should be identifying yourself now,
you. Yeah,
because that's who you are. You are changing
yeah,
lives.
as we all do. Everybody
Yes.
changes,
And I
and
think that's when
giving
you
yourself the
recognize
permission
it.
to change, right?
Yeah, I think so. Any women or men who are listening today, can you give them any advice on rebuilding or the fact that maybe they want to take that leap? How do they make that like you did?
I'm all about the to-do lists. I always have a to-do list. Always. It's a never-ending to-do list. And so my advice is whatever you want to do, just start with the first step as to what you would need. So if you want to open a business and it's going to be a storefront, the first step is you need to meet with a realtor and find a space, right? Then you need to get an LLC. Are you going to have a partnership? Who's going to come to this? Are you going to use marketing? How are you going to get people through the door? Are you going to be grassroots? Are you going to use marketing, right? Just writing down everything that you would need to do and then just every day crossing some things off. I can say that anybody who wants to do something that's scared, but they're scared, it's never been easier to do anything now that we have all of this AI. You can literally put in to I would like to open a pizza parlor. Please give me exact steps on how to do so in East Brunswick, New Jersey, and it will tell you. Right? So it's almost like there's no excuse. There's no excuse if you want to do something. It's just taking a big leap of faith. And that being said, if nothing works out, you can always go get a 9 to 5. So why not try it?
I agree. Do you think the old version of Jamie would recognize this new version?
Oh no.
Isn't
Oh no.
that incredible?
Yeah. But I think she always knew that I was in there. The day that I decided to stop drinking after I was really bad, drinking like bottles of vodka a day, convulsing. And my mom said this to me that if you don't get help, whatever. And I was sitting on her couch and I remember having this overwhelming feeling of everything's going to be okay. I had nothing. I had nothing. all my friends were alcoholics and drug addicts. My mom and I weren't getting along. What was I going to do? I'm like, I'm not going to drink or use Adderall anymore. I don't even know how I'm going to survive. But I just had this overwhelming feeling that if I went forward and just quit drinking, that I was going to be okay. And so I think that I always knew if I started to do the right thing, and you always know in your gut what the right thing is. You really do. When you start listening to it, you become the version of you that you're destined to be. But when you start fighting like what you know is right, that's when trouble happens.
You're absolutely right. And how long ago was that?
16 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
So that's a long time.
it's a long time.
That's a long time. So
Yeah,
you have really made a decision 16 years ago to change.
yeah, that was the first one. Yep.
That's incredible. You have got to be proud of yourself. And
Thank you.
how inspiring is that for other people hearing that? You
Yeah,
did it.
yeah, and you know when you do something like sort of life changing like that, like quit an addiction, you realize that you can use that principle anywhere. Like I can just decide that I'm no longer going to scroll on my phone after 10 p.m. Like literally just make that decision. And when I go pick up my phone, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's got to be a conscious thing and you've really got to make the change. I mean, you can't just say it. You got to
Walk the talk.
walk the
Walk the
talk,
talk.
walk the talk,
Absolutely.
which you do every day, which is so incredible. Okay, so tell us how we would find you. If someone would like to find you and how they would make an appointment, tell me where you are and how would we.
If you wanted to chat directly with me, I'm always available. I chat with everybody. As you can see, I talk a lot. Instagram's at Jamie Maltabes. And then if you wanted to come to the business, Instagram's at Infinite Medical Group, or our website is www.infiniteMedicalGroup.com. We actually have a texting platform. So there's somebody monitoring it from 9 in the morning till 9 in the evening, 365 days a year. So you could just text us, say like, hey, I'm interested in X, Y, or Z. Doesn't need to be this awkward thing where you're calling. We'll text you, we'll send you photos, whatever it is.
That is so great that you do that. I mean, it's just incredible. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh man, I see myself open. I kept saying I can't wait to be open 7 days a week. Now we are. So I have to say we got
So
there.
check that off the box.
Check that off the list. I would love to, I do not want any more locations. I'm not interested in that. I would like for this to be open 7 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day. And I would like specific days to be for specific things. So I would like to have, aesthetics fully running on a couple of days and then stem cells on different days where there's a very different mood, everything's kind of calm and the lights are down, all of those things. And I would like to have somebody doing everything that I do. And I would like to be traveling and spending more time with my family and just know that I have a whole team of people under me that I can count on, which I do have now. But first, I just need to set all of the framework and then I can teach someone how to do what I do.
What are your hours that
For
you're
me,
open?
oh,
No, not you personally.
my hours are 24/7.
I know that.
Yeah, so we have 3 short days. So Monday, Thursday, Sunday are 9 to 1. They're just a short
Okay.
day. Then we have 2 long days. Tuesdays 9 to 7, Wednesdays 9 to 8, Fridays 9 to 3, and Saturdays 8 to 3.
Wow. So anything as far as information goes about your business, if you send it, we're gonna post it. So anybody who wants to get in touch with you
Oh,
through the podcast,
nice.
and they can follow Women in the Loop on Instagram, and we're going to post you, of course. And anything else you want to share with the audience about you, about your business, about anything that you want us to take with us on the close of this incredible interview with you?
Let's see. I think the only thing that I would like to say is if you're considering making a change, just know that I am the pivot queen. I have pivoted my life so many times, more times to count, and I've yet to come across a pivot that wasn't worth it. And so, speaking from experience, I can tell you that if your gut is telling you that you need to make a change, follow it. You can always go back to where you were.
That's right. But now you're just going forward.
That's it.
I think that's how we have to look. You have to go forward. And it's so inspiring. Your story is incredible. And I'd love to have you on again.
I would love to be on anytime.
Yeah, this was just terrific. I want to thank you again for coming on and being an amazing guest.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamie. It was wonderful to have you.